So this morning, as I was sitting in my usual writing session, writing communion session, a series of information came through, and it's really interesting for me because um, I have been holding this question within the space of myself for some time now. Last year, there were two individuals who commented something that I did not understand on one level, and yet part of me knew, but there was a lack of communication between the part of me that understood and the part of me that did not. And so this morning that information translated, and I want to share it with you in case it is useful to you, wherever you are, however you are at this stage of your uh, experience. And so I feel a bit shaky sharing this because it's very fresh, but my guidance was absolutely to stream this, not even just to record it as a video, but to stream it. And so here we go. And like I said, this information is very fresh. Literally about an hour ago is when it came in. And so we treat it gently, lightly, and see what happens. If this is for you, beautiful. If it's not for you, beautiful. You will know that. When the two individuals who spoke somewhat to this um, about a year ago and started the unfolding process within me, I did not know if it would ever unfold, but I knew that there was something in it for me. And so I just let it rest, and I didn't seek it out. I knew that at the right time it would explain itself. So here we go. I'm going to read this, and then if there are any questions or comments, I'll do my best to answer right here on the spot. Okay. I'm just going to read the entire entry. And today is July 25th, 2024. I must change my interactions with humans now. It is not helpful to me to play in the realm of relating with others. It is not a higher connection, only takes one out of one, which is fine if one wishes to play in duality. One equals all being their one, and to see and be and know wholeness and appreciate that. Duality is untrue to one. Part of wholeness is the multi-fractionalized aspects of one within one. Polarity is not duality. Witness is one. Connection is not relating. It is one standing in one and relaying experiences. Let me say that again. Connection is not relating. It is one standing in one and relaying experiences. The other one, so another person, may know more about itself or the one it meets, but connection is not relation. It is internal and external observation of one and many, yet whole and complete as the one it is. And so the title of this is something to the effect of, connection, relationship, duality, oneness. So let me read the next part. And I'll reread parts of this as I go along. Just to say there is a deep inner standing outer standing of this information. So take what is for you and leave the rest. Relationship is a false belief. While all in all is within each, while while the all in all, this is the term that I use when speaking about what is the wholeness of reality. You may call it source, or the way, or God, or the divine, or the universe, or the cosmos. But all in all is sort of my personal shorthand for this experience. So while all in all is within each one, it plays through sets of markers, data, experience, lens, frames. One experiences via its shell and wiring. Be still and know I am. Be still and know the way. The way being life moving in its being. And then I wrote another note, and I'll try to show you the sort of the sketch I drew as well. This changes the game completely, and this was sort of me responding to this information. This changes the game completely. Am I ready? Yes, it changes all flow and decision and interactions. Who then speaks, and to whom is one speaking? One speaks both to self and other ones who then observe or engage with the information. If one feels inclined to share outwardly certain information and experiences, recognize it is for the one. When other ones find similarity or fresh informing, forming within, when other ones find similarity or fresh informing, that is a part of connection. Relating or relation is duality perceived. It's not wholeness. When multiple ones share information, they experience either a merge or, and this is where I was balancing some of my internal questions. When multiple ones share information, they experience either a merge. Does that mean bond or binding? Or they experience an inner reflection, an inner informing. I asked, is there a transfer of information? And it stated it's not a transfer of the information. It is that the information is presented from outside so as to be witnessed and activated within. Resistance to outer is resistance to inner. Acceptance is not acceptance from outside ourselves. It is acceptance of one's activation of what is dormant. And so it's a lot of information, and I'm very grateful to have finally received it, knowing that it would show up one day in my field. And so I'll try to show this small, I don't know if it's going to show, this diagram right here. I don't know. You have the one and the reflection of the one reflecting back to it. It's more for me to explore. So anyways, this is, I would like to unpack this a little bit, and I'm unpacking it for myself. Right now, the notion of relationship, this has shown itself to me recently as something that it's shifting the idea, the framework of relationship, as we call it in our society, relationship to others. specifically is what I'm talking about. When you're with, say, your partner or a friend or a family member, these things that exist within sort of the common awareness, they exist when we are in duality. So for now, I'm only speaking of the duality within ourselves. As to duality in its entirety, I'm not going to speak to that, but duality exists. Well, it is one and the same. Duality exists within us. And so that is what we perceive in the phenomenal world. We perceive division. Uh, mm, we perceive it as separate from us, and that separation is actually within us, within the wholeness of what we are. Back to the multifractionalized aspects of one. Duality is untrue to one. Parts of wholeness is the multifractionalized aspects of one within one. Polarity is not duality. So let me speak to that, because that feels like something I can talk about right now. Polarity and duality are not the same thing. They're often associated with each other, I think, but they're not at all the same. Duality is a split. Polarity is more about magnetization. I am not a scientist. I'm not an expert in this matter, but as I lean into the question of it unfolding within me, polarity is about, say, right and left, top and bottom. It's about the magnets, and how that works within, say, our own physical frame, within the multiple layers of bodies that we have. That's all I'm going to say, just that polarity is not the same as duality. And so if we can begin to recognize that, perhaps we can begin to recognize, reframe in our mental framework, and drop the mental framework, drop it into the heart. And so the heart is this source of magnetism, its own field. There are a lot of things that there's a lot of information out there about how these work in technicality. I'm not the one who's probably going to explain those in this moment, but so maybe we change the word from recognize to, let's just drop that entirely. I'm getting off track. But polarity is not duality. Duality and oneness are one whisper between each other, one whisper of separation, of imagined separation, playing itself out through your framework, through your wiring, through your experiences. And wholeness starts when one is in duality. Wholeness starts the path to wholeness, to remembering oneness is actually what we are. It's a path that simply starts through one activation after another, activating these dormant pockets of information that need to be translated into our current experience. So I'm going to stop there. And if you have questions, later on, please leave them in the comments. I'm not sure if that's possible on YouTube, but please leave them in there, and I will do my best to respond to them, perhaps in another video or in the comments themselves. My name is Andrea Mai, if you don't know me, and I thank you for your attention today. I hope that if something in this is tickling you, or as it did for me when I first heard sort of the phrase that, relationships don't exist. Um, and I was like, what does that mean? And part of me knew what it meant, but I did not have language or lived experience of it. And so now if one of us is experiencing this, perhaps others are as well. And so my internal compulsion system was to come live stream this and share it. For whatever reason, I leave that um, without an answer. Yeah. Thank you very much. And please do leave any questions and comments, and I will do my best to come back at the right time, always right on time, in my oneness, in my wholeness, and respond to those questions. You may need to listen to this over again. I know I will be reading the information again. Yeah. Have a beautiful day and keep shining. Keep shining your beautiful light and let it ripple out. It is rippling out, whether you see it, feel it, sense it, or not, whether it seems like it's coming back to you. Uh, well, that's a thing for another day, but take care. Be well.